Peace and prosperity be unto all who's listening and watching. It's your girl, Shaeranea, right? And I'm back with another video. And guys, I just want to be quite frank, quite honest. There is a lot of uncomfortable things that we experience along our journey. And the most uncomfortable things are the things that we have to outgrow and grow into and overcome. And these are sometimes very uncomfortable experiences, but they're learning experiences, they're growing experiences, and we have to go through them. So guys, I want to tell you guys that it's okay to feel uncomfortable. It's okay to be afraid, because, to be afraid or to feel fear is not to say that you're to do something. Is not the necessary that say that fear isn't there or it isn't present. It's just learning to face comfort and embrace the adversary that you're feeling or the anxiety that you may get while doing something. And I acknowledge that I struggle a lot with a lot of things. I struggle a lot with a lot of different comfort zones that I'm having to face and overcome. And they're not easy. They're not easy to overcome, but they make me a beautiful person once I learn to face them, once I learn to overcome them, once I learn to embrace them as a person and learn to love these parts about me, my weaknesses, my strengths, and know that my weaknesses are my greatest strengths and my strengths are just weaknesses, because in strength, you consider yourself to be perfect. You feel that you have no need to continue on improving. But in weaknesses, you feel unstrong. You feel so far behind. But in all reality, those are strengths, yet undefined by you. And when we figure out those comfort zones, when we figure out how to face those things, then I'm not saying it'll be easier, because you'll run into more comfort zones as you grow, as you experience, as you move to different locations and areas of growth in your life, meet new people, have different conversations that may make you uncomfortable. And I want you guys to try something, and I do it myself. And it's like a self-analytics, like on YouTube analytics. But this is more personal. It's more about you. And it's taking the time to really focus on the things that you need to work on. So personally, I know that I really suck at communication. And not necessarily, I'm very good at listening in a different terms. It's levels to everything. So we're only good as we intend to perceive, okay? Because we're only so good, but we can always be better. So I'm good at listening as an empath, as a healer, as somebody who gives and longs to hear people out. So people come to me in comfort to tell me their stories, and they pour their hearts out to me, and I listen, and I, give them advice. Sometimes I encourage them. Sometimes I encourage them to live on. It really depends on the person and their circumstances. And, I struggle with my communication because I am an introvert and I am an extrovert, depending on if I'm in social gatherings or depending on the event or depending on the atmosphere and the vibes and the energy. And it all really depends on the people around me as well. And I acknowledge those things, and I know I need to work on them. And it really is hard for me. And as difficult as that is to say, I am stronger because I acknowledge the fact that I suck at it. I totally suck at it, dude. But I want to improve, and I plan to. So I'm gonna teach myself how to be better in that aspect. And I'm gonna analyze more parts of myself and come to the realization that what I may perceive to be good may not be the best. And sometimes we have an intent to say that something's all right, but it's not. And if we want to grow, we must be realistic. We are simply hindering ourselves from growing when we limit ourselves to what we perceive. Now, I understand that having a strong opinion or a strong mind about who you are and what you want is great. And having a strong sense of identity is the best thing. But when it comes to growth, God allowed other people to see things in you in which you sometimes can't see. So being open-minded to accepting constructive criticism is a good thing. And sometimes we can come off aggressive. I know I can. I am a very intense learner, and I take everything intensely. I learn all my lessons very intense. It's nothing subtle with me. And honestly, these conversations, these talks, guys, aren't easy for me. But I know that I can help somebody else by being honest about it. And there's a lot of introverts like me who, it's not necessarily that we don't want to talk or it's just that we don't have a desire for it. And we never really grew up doing it. Or sometimes, you see what's out there and you just like, it's not much to entertain, But when it comes to growth and business and entrepreneurship and like growing like strong and healthy relationships, communication is key. Communication is the best way, and learning how to do it, not just your own effective way of communicating, but other ways. And there's more ways to communicate, just like there's more ways to love. So when we open ourselves to be real enough to understand that the only way that we're going to grow is if we're honest and we accept the honesty that is given to us and take it as it is and not what we perceive it to be. Because sometimes we perceive reality to be something like dream world, And we have to separate those things. You have to know reality from fake. Or like your perception can very cloud you and blind you to believing something that is not real. So basically, are you accepting reality for what it really is or what you want it to be? And if you're somebody who accepts things for what you want it to be and not what it necessarily is, are you really helping yourself grow beyond the situation? I acknowledge that I can be very argumentative. I'm very good at debates. I'm very good at, confrontation. I'm very good. I'm very sassy and very direct, and I'm good at making statements, and I'm very good at, finding out information because I'm used to having to go search for those things. I'm not used to having to ask questions and find new advocates and ways to help people. And I know if I want to help more people and be more effective with helping people, I have to be more opening and listening to these other ways of expansion. And I don't want to limit myself or hinder myself from growing. So I do take heed and take hint to the acknowledgement of knowing that I need to grow in my communication skills and my sector of expanding there with relationships. And I'm honest about it because I suck at it. And though I'm a very good friend and a very good person, and I'm the person that you come to when you need anything. Like, I'm somebody you come to. I'm not used to coming to people. And I'm not used to asking questions. And I'm not used to relying on anybody. So these things are hard to overcome. These things are hard to approach. But I'm willing to work on them. So what is it today that you have a hard time overcoming, hard time facing, and have comfort zones that hinder you from, just embracing it? You got to learn to embrace these things because these conversations are very uncomfortable. But we're gonna be happy and glad that we know the things that we know, and that we're no longer ignorant to what we did not know, and that we acknowledge the things that we do know, and that the ignorance in which we once had. We're acknowledged and knowing about those things, and now we can make wiser decisions about them. So let's be better, let's be greater, let's improve, and let's make an honest effort to be better people, be better in everything that we want to pursue, and give a great effort. And even though it sucks, like it definitely sucks, like I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you guys, even though it sucks and the experience that you feel sometimes may not be the most comfortable, it's for the best for your growth. It's for the best for you to evolve into the person that you're becoming. So become beautifully you and love yourself. And love and embrace the weaknesses, the strengths, the ugly, the sad, the happy, the mad. And love yourself for all who you are, and not just the good things about yourself, because we don't live in perfection, we live in improvement. And let's be better. I love you guys. I hope you guys have a prosperous day. All the information you'll need on me will be in the description box below. If you like these kinds of videos, comment, subscribe, share, and like this video. I know this is a very in tune and very deep, and it kind of sounds emotional. It is, but if I want to help people, there's some things even in the midst of helping myself, I have to help people with too. So love you guys, and this is Honest with Mayola, and I want you guys to have a prosperous day.